Good afternoon, this is Jeff with Sewer Tech Northwest. Today we're at property address 8452 Southwest Iroquois Drive here in Tualatin. Located to the left of the front door, that's as you face the front of the house from the street. Got a 4-inch ABS clean out here as our point of access. We're going to insert the camera and check the overall condition and serviceability of the sanitary sewer line. You're basically 10 siding boards in from this corner of this part of the house here, right between 10 and 11, and about 2 feet out from the house where your clean out's at. In case you lose track of this one's buried a little bit, so luckily big crawl space, it's easy to see where the line is going through the foundation, if nothing else. It is zeroed out there at the bottom of the clean out. Nice clean flow line so far, very little buildup in the line. Most notably, no major grease buildup, which is a common issue for a lot of households. And now we're swapping over to 6-inch concrete. A couple balls of toilet paper in the line here. We'll see how things drain out. These things will sit in the flow line, kind of dam the pipe up and make it look like there's a belly. In reality, there probably isn't any standing water there at all. One of the reasons you want to try to not wad your toilet paper up and you want to fold it. Balled up toilet paper does not travel well. It becomes very heavy. Folded toilet paper essentially floats through the line like a boat does on the water, where a balled up piece of toilet paper has to tumble its way through. And when you've got older, rougher pipe materials like concrete pipe, they tend to move a bit slower than ideal. Anyway, we're gonna go locate the camera head. We've just hit the main here at about 66 feet. Now I'm just having fun with it. Mark of the beast, 66 feet, 6 inches. Anyway, we're gonna go locate. Alrighty, located the camera head successfully. Line terminates on Southwest Iroquois, and where I pick that locate up and stare back at the house, I'm basically looking straight back at the clean out. The line here runs a pretty darn straight shot out to the street. Meanders a little bit. Overall, pretty straight run of line. Anyway, you can see the water's draining off around these balls of toilet paper. And if memory serves, I do believe the city out here takes responsibility, at least the last time I checked, does take responsibility. I believe it's from the right-of-way out to the street. So, you know, that's usually just prior to the sidewalk edge, which typically speaking would basically be the entirety of the concrete pipe. That's usually where these transitions are. Anyway, and that's all toilet paper there. It's all going to move on its way. I was just pointing that out. It's ideal to fold your toilet paper, not ball it up. It travels much nicer. Concrete pipe's all intact and drains off proper. The line does a little bit of a zig and a zag. It's a very gentle zigzag there. Overall, pretty straight running line. It's straight enough that my diagram is probably just going to be a simple line going out to the street. Obviously, it's more complicated than that, but my little diagram is just a rough idea as to where the line goes, not a schematic. And we're pushing backwards right now through the foundation wall. Everything from this point on is completely exposed piping in the crawl space. It's stuff the home inspector looks at when they're down in the crawl. Very nice looking sewer line there. Good flow end to end. Your 3-inch pipe, once you go back into the house here, but essentially just about everything on the exterior is 4 to 6 inches, which is really nice if you ever have to do if you ever want to do like a addition onto the house and need to add bathrooms. A lot of homes, you don't get 4-inch pipe till you start getting out near the right-of-way, and you have to bump the diameter of the pipe up once you add enough bathrooms. So it's nice when that transition is just barely outside the house. It prevents you from having to do a bunch of digging if that ever happens in the future. The only thing I can nitpick about this line, right at the clean out, I mean, it's right at the surface of the ground. You can barely see the things, they're so small. You have some roots penetrating through right where the clean out flange. Essentially, if you unscrew the cap, it's about 1 inch down into the clean out. That joint there probably wasn't glued all the way or was dry fit. So I'll recommend it be fixed. Just understand that's not the kind of root intrusion we're typically looking at, and rarely do they ever amount to anything other than being some tiny little scraggly roots. And that is as simple as just removing that, gluing the joint, and calling it a day. It's extremely simple to do. I've done almost 25,000 scopes. I've seen this a myriad of times over the years. Very, very rarely do you get these things growing much beyond a couple inches. They're just not getting any real nutrients where they're at, unlike the average root intrusion down in a sewer line that's actually in the sewer pipe itself. In this case, it's at the top of the clean out, feet above the actual sewer line. They can only grow so far and so big when they're hardly getting fed anything. So I'll recommend that be fixed, but that has zero bearing on the functionality of the sewer line. Line itself is functioning properly at this time. All of it is in good condition, or good condition for its age, clean, and has good flow.